Welcome to another video of Fortress Sports. Today we're going to be going over the UEFA Champions League recap. We're going to start off with Dortmund versus Atletico Madrid. Dortmund ended up winning. It was a 4-2. That was the final score of the game, but with the aggregate, it was 5-4 in favor of Dortmund. So let's just go over that.
Well, I mean, it's been a tough week. Let's just say that. But going quickly with Dortmund Atletico, I really wanted Dortmund to win, and I called it. Dortmund was going to win. They had the advantage at home, played stellar football. Atletico just choked, in my opinion, when I was watching the game. I was watching both games at the same time. They just choked. They just Cholo style, like.
I love how you always mention that you're watching both games at the same time. You said the same thing last match day. That you're watching both games at the same time. Just want to make that known.
It's just it's football, and you have to. This week of Champions League has been insane. The past 2 weeks has been insane, but
Yeah, for sure.
Cholo is just he needs to change the style of Atletico. A lot of teams already figured him out. It's just 4-4-2, and they just crash the box. And Dortmund figured that out, and they capitalized, and they passed, and now they play PSG in the semifinal.
Just to add to that, I think this was the most entertaining game out of all four this week. Maybe that's just my opinion, but this
100%.
game, it was an amazing game from start to finish. Congrats to Borussia Dortmund. I think very well deserved. We had talked about it on the previous podcast episode how Atletico had beat them at home at Atletico's house 2-1, but it just felt like Borussia Dortmund was always there. They were always knocking on the door, never gave up, and they were able to get a goal back in the 81st to 82nd minute of that game, of that first leg. Now getting them in their house again, they clean up their mistakes, they finish their opportunities, and they smash them 4-2. It's that simple. Like, they were a better team. They showed it that day, and they move on. It was a heck of a game, though. That's what Champions League is about.
Right, and I think it's Cholo's last season too as a head coach on Atletico Madrid. That's just I see it. They need to move on for him.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't agree with. I mean, the thing is, I'm a Madrid fan, so obviously I'm gonna say Madrid versus Man City was the most entertaining game for me, just because of how it ended with PKs and just a lot of. Well, anyway, that's a separate topic, but. Yeah, I mean, do we have anything else regarding Dortmund and Atletico Madrid?
I hope they beat PSG. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just skim through this one, and we'll go over to Bayern Arsenal. Bayern won. It was a 1-0. Aggregate was 3-2. Obviously, again in favor of Bayern Munich.
Where are these Arsenal fans at? They were saying that they were gonna beat Bayern Munich at their home. It was just Arteta's tactics were just not enough to beat Bayern Munich. I mean, the last play of the game, corner kick, you have the chance to tie it, and Saka's didn't even make it to the first post. They cleared it right away. It was just an awful performance from Arsenal. Bayern Munich was just.
Are we surprised though? Like genuinely, like
I was surprised. I
really?
was surprised. They fooled me.
I wasn't surprised at all. Realistically, who? I mean, in the Bundesliga they've been struggling, but Bayern Munich is just on another level when it comes to Champions League at home.
I guess I was more. I guess just to clarify, I'm saying I'm surprised that Arsenal laid an egg and they didn't show up. I think Bayern is they're a strong team. I'm more surprised that Arsenal didn't show up.
That's fair, but again, Bayern was superior.
Is it fair to say they didn't put up a fight, like like most people expected?
They put up a fight, man. But I like what you said.
Well, I mean, the fact that Bayern Munich won 1-0 is they did put up a fight, but I think a lot of people expected Arsenal to upset Bayern in Munich, but that didn't happen. If anything, it was vice versa. It's just Arsenal had a terrible performance, in my opinion. People are gonna say no, but no, it was just a terrible performance.
Yeah, no, I think it was Bayern Munich at the end of the day has that experience, that Champions League experience, and Arsenal is still like the young team, so they're still developing, and I think they'll be back, but
it's how Jamie, a Liverpool legend, Jamie Carragher said it in the preview. Bayern Munich just UCL experience, and he was right, and I was right too. They're more experienced, and they passed. Great goal by Kimmich, by the way. Great goal by Kimmich. It was a header, but it was a great goal. Great build-up.
I think they'll definitely bounce back. They're a young team, and I would say the future is bright. I'd say it's bright for this team and for our all Arsenal fans. Again, like I think this is the first time in the last 7-8 years that they hadn't made it to the quarterfinals. So again, just improving little by little. Obviously, you would have wanted to see more, but again, I do see a bright future for this team, and you can only go up from here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, anyone else have anything else to say before we move on to the next one?
Just move on because I'm just going to hear it.
Okay, so the next game that we're going to be looking at is going to be Barcelona versus PSG. PSG, PSG scored 4 goals. Kylian Mbappe scored a penalty in the 61st minute. Then another goal in the 89th minute. Then Vitinha scored in the 54th minute. And then Ousmane Dembele scored in the 40th minute. And Rafinha scored Barcelona's one and only goal. And then Araujo got a red card 29th minute.
Do you really have to say
followed by Xavi, who also got a red card too.
Do you really have to say like
so
that?
So the aggregate was 6-4 again in favor of PSG. So yeah, let's just go. Oh, I just want to mention PSG had 21 shots, 9 on target compared to Barcelona's 7 shots and 3 on target. Possession, PSG had 68% possession while Barcelona had 32%.
Well, yeah, because we're down a player. Come on.
Let's move on. Anyways,
come on.
Let's talk about it.
We're down a player.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'd gladly love to talk about it. Yes, we lost. I'm still a Barca fan till I die. One thing I do have to bring this up, and then I'm not going to blame it on the referee, but the referee was just terrible. He was fucking garbage. Like, football has been involved with technology, and they bring in VAR, and they don't use it. It's useless. Take it away. Take away VAR. The red card with Araujo, I think that was the turnaround of the game. Xavi's little antics, that was another turnaround in the game. I think that's what made the team fall apart. Because if they don't have, I was talking to Leko earlier, if they don't have a coach, a true leader, they obviously they have the assistant, but it's not the same as their coach being out there. But that Araujo, it was a mistake. He needs to trust more Ter Stegen. Should have not hold them.
So you agree that it was a red card for sure? There was no controversy with that.
For the fact, I as much as I hate to say this, yes, I agree it was a red card.
Yeah.
It was fair play to the ref. But where I disagree is that Dembele PK was soft. There was contact, but it was soft. Gundogan should have gotten a PK. Vitinha straight up tripped him. How do you not call that a PK? He straight up tripped him. There were certain angles where they showed, and straight up tripped. It pisses me off at the fact that the referee didn't even go to VAR, didn't do the little motion that he goes to his ear. Oh, I'm listening to VAR. None of that shit. It's just so frustrating to see. It's always usually on Barca. And yes, a lot of people are like, oh, you're just a Barca fan, you're a crybaby, you pay. Fuck that all. Fuck all that shit. VAR needs to improve. Realistically, VAR needs to improve. That's just the way I see it. Barca should have won this game. Realistically, they didn't. Mbappe showed up when he scored the PK, and obviously they were countering because they had 10 men on the field. Obviously, he's going to be the star. But it was just a bad night for the culés, bad night for Barca. And, I mean, we got to, we have La Liga, I guess, still, but I think that's pretty much all. We're playing Real Madrid this Sunday, but, I mean, I honestly think Madrid's going to win.
For sure.
Sucks to say that, but, I mean, I still have hope for my team. I really hope we beat Real Madrid, but we got to wait till next season and improve in certain areas and improve our mistakes, because I think I'm not going to blame it on Araujo, because I think it's unfair to say that. Barca didn't really have a great game. Lewandowski was terrible that game. He wasn't being the striker he was the week before or the week prior when he was receiving the ball, checking in, laying it off to Pedri or Gundogan. It was just he had every ball he received. It was just terrible touch. But
did you know that Dembele only has 3 goals this season, and 2 of them have been against Barca?
Yes, against Barca. Yes, I know. And he's a snake. He's a snake. He's 100% snake.
He's just doing his job. He's doing a great job.
The ex-president just paid him his money, and he leaves. He's a snake. I really hope Dortmund upsets PSG. PSG is not a really great team. The way they, the fact that Barca was down a player and Barca almost scored, had so many opportunities to score, is pretty sad. I mean, yeah, we got clapped 4-1, but they scored shitty goals.
Okay, Leko, what do you think?
So it's a very interesting game. Obviously, PSG won 4-1. I think if you just look at the score, though, like that doesn't tell the full story. Obviously, there was a red card, and as a fan of the sport, I don't think, like, yes, that it was a clear foul, but as a ref, like, you cannot give the guy a red card in this situation. You just can't. Like, if you got to give him a penalty kick, give him a penalty kick, give him a yellow card. But by giving a red card, even though, again, you can make the argument that Araujo deserved it, by giving a red card, you completely change the outcome of the game. At the 29th...
Sorry to cut you off, Lego. Originally, the ref called it a PK. He did call it a PK until he does that little stupid hand motion to his ear. Oh, I'm check VAR. And then, oh, not PK, outside the box. This is what I mean. They need to go to VAR for every little situation like this, but they don't. FIFA needs to improve it. UEFA needs to improve it. It just needs to improve or get rid of fucking VAR. It's just so frustrating and annoying. And it goes to like every team. Every team. Whoever plays who, it needs to be improved. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I also agree. They definitely need to have better protocols and better rules and regulations in place to actually use VAR in a fair way for every team. I don't think they do that for sure. But going again to what I was saying, I think in that moment, if you're the ref, you can't give him a red card just because it's so early in the game. This is such an important game for both teams that by giving him a red card completely changes the outcome of the game, right? Barcelona at that point had a 2-goal lead over PSG. And obviously they quickly saw that evaporate. And the second thing that doesn't help Barca is Xavi Hernandez. Like you cannot do, like, you're the coach, like you're the captain of the captains. Just let that sink in. Like you're what they look at, right? Especially with a team that's so young. For him to start acting like a 5-year-old on the sideline and start like kicking stuff and yelling, and I suppose he was cussing them out. I don't know.
Yes, he did cuss him out.
That looks so bad, man. And as a team, right? As a team, they're gonna lose confidence in you. And when that happens, I can't remember if Barcelona was still tied in aggregate or if they were still up by 1 in aggregate. I can't remember exactly. I know it happened like right at the beginning of the second half, but you just can't do that as a coach. Like, you have to keep your composure. So that red card screwed them up even more. And then they got another red card from one of their coaches, like right after that. So I think it was just a complete collapse from Barca, inexperienced, too young, and again, we can't say the ref here has no role. It was a huge call that really changed the outcome of the game, and PSG did what they had to do, right? It would be a completely different story if we were talking about it right now and said, PSG didn't score, they still lost the game. But it was basically they were playing against a hurt animal, if you want to look at it that way, right? Because that's what Barca was. Like, they were bleeding the whole game, and it was just a matter of time before PSG capitalized, and they did it. So again, kudos to PSG. Boo the refs. Boo Xavi. That's my take on it.
And I think we have to, in the future, we should do a video where we talk about Barcelona and what their rebuild or what they're going to do or what's most likely to come up to get them back on top in regard to the Champions League. But obviously that's going to hopefully that's something that we could do in the future.
It's gonna take a while, Josh. It's gonna. There are too many young players, but sorry to cut you off. But it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while.
No, I mean again.
Sorry, I want to say one last thing.
Yeah.
Last thing. I said boo the refs and boo Xavi. Also, Araujo has to have better situational awareness. You have to realize it's 29th minute. You can't do that, dude. You can't even 100%. Do anything.
And that's where I go. That's where I go when I was talking about earlier. You need to trust Ter Stegen. You need to trust him. Like, I mean, the worst that can happen is, okay, they score a goal. You're still up, regardless, because it was 1-0. We were beating them 1-1. We're still up. Like, that's where you say situational awareness. But I'm not going to put the blame on him. Yeah. All the blame on him.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Josh.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so let's move on to the next one. This one is obviously going to be Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid did you guys know that Real Madrid has the most titles in Champions League? They have 14 compared to
I know
the second club in line, Milan, 7. Anyways, so it was 1-1. Man City scored. It was Kevin De Bruyne that scored the goal. Real Madrid, Rodrigo scored in the 12th minute. And then obviously the aggregate was 4-4, so they went on to penalties. Real Madrid won 4-3 on penalties, and Rudiger scored the final blow. And just before, I want to give you guys some stats because I have them up here. Manchester City, in regard to the shots that they had 33 shots. 9 of them were on target. Possession-wise, 68% possession compared to Real Madrid's 32%. So it was like Barcelona. Real Madrid had 8 shots, and then they had 3 shots on target. So obviously Man City had the ball most of the time here. I'm going to read a quote that Thierry Henry said, which was, "There is something called defending. You can also control the game defending well. I know people will say City was the best team, but defending is part of the game. Real Madrid defended ever so well. I think the best team, the team that defended well, went through." And I think that summarized the game perfectly. In my opinion, Madrid did an excellent job at stopping Man City from, scoring any more goals. And obviously 33 shots, dude. They had a ton of chances too. Our goalkeeper was great. It's a big role for him. I think he balled out this game. And it's just, Madrid showed up like they always do. Champions League. I think Danny said it a couple of times. You can never bet against Madrid. You shouldn't bet against Madrid when it comes to the Champions League. But yeah, I'll just pass it over to you guys.
Lunin made up for last week. Realistically, he had an outstanding game.
Yeah, no, and kudos to Kepa too for letting him know about and Kepa.
Yeah, he played in the Premier League, so and he was telling him.
He even had some say in the players that should be taking the PKs, because Lucas Vazquez came in too. So it's like that's what Madrid. Dude, it's so sick how they fucking just come together to get that fucking result and get that W, and everyone's included, even if you're on the bench. So that was super good.
Easy there, you're getting too excited.
No, that was good. That was a perfect Champions League fucking win.
But I will agree what Thierry Henry said. Defending is a crucial part of the game, and that quote was just absolutely perfect. They defended well. It's just they controlled the game by defending, and it was well. Again, I said it last week in last week's episode. Where was Haaland? Where was he? He didn't show up again. And I was reading sources and whatnot that he had a muscular discomfort. I think that's kind of an excuse. I mean, if he's hurt, he's hurt, but I just personally think it's an excuse. He needs to contribute more. And I said this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I think he's been a little bit overrated now. It's just they expect him more. And now that Real Madrid and other teams are figuring him out, he's not doing anything. He's not contributing to the team. It's more the midfielders in City. It's more Phil Foden. But City I think City just did not finish. That's just my opinion. They didn't finish. Again, how you said, 33 shots, 9 on target, couldn't finish. And then going into PKs, What was that PK of Bernardo Silva?
That shit was ass. That shit
When
was
I
shit at the
saw
keeper.
when I saw it, I was speechless. And
That's like, yeah.
as a kid, I think everyone who plays the sport of football, you should never go down the middle. It's really simple. This is a topic for another day, but it's really simple. Just pick a side. Pick a side and shoot the ball. It's that simple. And the fact that Bernardo Silva went in the middle, that was just terrible. And Luna didn't even dive. He just grabbed the ball. Easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And the one who defended Haaland the whole game and was mind games, pulling his shirt, just frustrating him, scores the winning PK and celebrates like, okay, won the Champions League, which kind of valid.
It kind of did, you know. We're almost there yet. We're almost there yet.
That. It's valid.
We did say that whoever would win this game has the higher chance to win the Champions
100%.
League. So, and right now, Real Madrid, I mean, it's going to be a good game against Bayern Munich. I'm not underestimating them at all, but at the same time, it is Real Madrid, so we're going to get shit done. So it's going to be exciting to see that. But, Leko, sorry, let's go over to you. Me and Danny have been talking too much.
Okay, so all I have to say is that penalty kicks don't count. All right, all right? They should be eliminated from soccer.
Why do you say that?
I mean, look, it was a game in which, okay, if we're just being unbiased here.
Are you a Man City fan?
Being unbiased for a quick second. I do like Man City.
Okay.
I like Man City.
Okay.
And I think Real Madrid is also a good team. But
right.
If we're just being an unbiased fan for just a quick second, when a team has more shots on target than another team has all game, that speaks volume. Man City, you said they had 33 shots in the game, and you brought up Thierry Henry's quote about defending. I think there's a difference between defending and between missing opportunities. So I think Man City, don't get me wrong, obviously Real Madrid defended well. If not, they would have conceded more than one goal. But I think there's a difference between missing opportunities and defending well. I think Man City had a really strong combination of both. They missed opportunity. They were defended well by Real Madrid, but they also missed a lot. Missed a lot of opportunities that I feel like Man City normally capitalizes on. And again, it was a close game. We were able to get one goal back in the 76th minute, KDB. And then PK's, yeah, your guys' goalie Lunin, I think he really, really showed up. I'm not sure how much you guys are paying Thibaut Courtois, but if he's going to be injured and he's going to be earning all this money, and you got some guy like Lunin sitting on the bench, you guys better use him before someone else hijacks him and takes him away from you guys.
Like another Keylor Navas situation.
Yeah. No, for real.
Yeah, it really is another Keylor Navas situation.
He earned, in my opinion, he earned his spot on the team.
If they go ahead and they win this Champions League, I think this lineup is it's only up from here, and definitely going to bring more competition to the goalkeeper role. Especially, it's going to be more pressure on Courtois too. He has to make a comeback. We don't even know if he's going to be the same as he was before, and hopefully we also get an improvement in the striker position with Kylian Mbappe. So. Yeah, I mean, Lunin, he did great, and I feel like he's going to continue to do great. I think he's a lockdown keeper. I think this is great for his confidence, and I just I look forward to seeing him play more often. When you do, and you said this earlier too, which is like, looking at the stats, it's almost like when you're playing a FIFA game. It's like, okay, I had fucking 20 shots, and the opponent had 2 shots, and he ended up scoring a goal, and I ended up not scoring anything, right? I didn't capitalize on whatever. Yeah, I mean, looking at the stats, you would think that Man City fucking scored like 3 goals, 4 goals on Madrid if I didn't see the score. Just guessing game, right? So, yeah, I see what you're saying. But the thing is that also Madrid made it... I feel like they made it difficult for Man City to score. It was 33 shots, but only 9 of them were on target. I saw a couple times where Haaland... He did get a chance to header the ball. Obviously, he's a tall guy, but the thing is that
it wasn't enough.
Yeah, and Rudiger was right there with him. It was either Rudiger or Nacho. So it was like, it was. They defended. I think Real Madrid defended as well as they could. Obviously, it would have been an A+ if we didn't concede a goal. But again, it's like Kevin De Bruyne's coming in. We knew he was going to be a game changer. We knew he was going to make a difference. I thought Kyle Walker was going to make a bigger difference, to be honest. But I mean, that was wrong of me. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to be a masterclass basically with Bayern Munich next match day. So yeah.
Here's the thing. When I was watching the game, Man City, Real Madrid, because Real Madrid they were all, crunching the mid. They were all bunched up in the mid. When Man City would open the game up, that's when Madrid was in trouble. But Man City wanted to penetrate through the middle a lot of the times, and they just wanted to play those 1-touch, 1-2s in the middle when it was kind of hard because Real Madrid was just there always in the final third. Like once Jack Grealish, for example, or Phil Foden or De Bruyne would make a pass through the middle, try to do 1-touch, Rudiger was there, Nacho was there, Carvajal was there, Bellingham was there. It was just like they were quick with it. When they opened and expanded the game, Man City, that's when Real Madrid started to struggle a bit. I don't know if you noticed that. But again, Man City's tried to play through the middle, didn't really open up the game as much. They should have. I felt like if they would have opened up the game most of the 90 minutes, I think they would have scored at least 2 or 3 more goals. I was wrong because I even said this in texting you guys, that I think Man City was a shit on Real Madrid, but that didn't happen. Again, it's going to be a tough game against Bayern Munich. You can't bet against Madrid, but I'm a Barca fan, so fuck Madrid. Bayern Munich for the win. They're going to the final against Borussia Dortmund. And let me say this before we go. 2024, right?
Yeah.
What the last final in Champions League in Wembley, who were the 2 teams? If you guys have a guess. Any guesses?
Bayern?
Bayern was one. Do you know the second one?
I do
Barcelona.
No. Borussia Dortmund.
Ooh.
Final is in Wembley, 2024. I already told a lot of my friends, and I'm going to tell you guys here and in the podcast, a lot of people are going to be like, no, final's going to be PSG versus Real Madrid. Fuck no, it's not. It's going to be Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich. It's going to be a Bundesliga Champions League final. That's my prediction, and I think Borussia Dortmund is going to beat Bayern Munich, and hopefully Dortmund wins it as the dark horse, as the underdog, and as Marco Reus's final year with Borussia Dortmund, I believe. I want Dortmund to win, and I'm rooting for Dortmund. Fuck Real Madrid.
I just want to say that a lot of things are happening, in terms of like quite the opposite with that route you're taking, because you're basically going like off history, right? Historically accurate, whatever you're doing. If we're going based off that philosophy, when was the last time Madrid won at the Etihad? When? Do you guys know?
I don't know, but I think they tied. It's more of a tie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but they still won. So
they advanced.
They won. They won.
That's
they
the
won.
proper term.
They won. So for the first time, they won at Man City's home stadium. So we're seeing the opposite happen here. So Danny, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if what you're saying doesn't happen. So I mean,
well, I'm just saying they did not beat. I mean, they didn't. No, actually. They advanced.
Real Madrid won against Manchester City in their home stadium.
To the semifinal. They tied 1-1.
Do you have anything else to say before we end it here?
PKs don't count.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, right. I mean, they do count. It's a win, but they advanced. That's the proper term.
Well, running out of timers, so thank you for watching, and yeah, just keep an eye out for a future video. So we'll be back, of course.
Thank you.